Hi dear students, welcome back to the section of mathematics of class 10. Last day we studied about discriminant, we studied about quadratic equation, and we were discussing about different methods how to solve a given quadratic equation. And in today's class our topic is the nature of the equation. So from the word the nature of an equation, what does it mean by the nature of equation? By seeing a quadratic equation, how can you understand that of which type it is? Which type means you already know that a quadratic equation is having two solutions, right? That means two roots. That is the term which we have to use in this chapter. So there are two roots for a given quadratic equation. So as there are two roots, in some cases when we are dealing with some particular questions, we can find and we can understand that even though we are having plenty of methods, we know the method of completing the square method, we know it, right? We know how to deal with the quadratic formula, Sridharacharya equation, right? We know how to split the middle term and find the solution or find the root of the given quadratic. All these things we know, but in some cases it happens like this, that even though we know all these equations and we know different types of methods to solve this equation, sometimes we cannot get an answer. Sometimes we cannot split the middle term, right? Sometimes the completing the square, it's not at all possible. So there are some particular incidents which happens like this. And today we are going to discuss about that one. That is what we call the nature of the equation. The general form of a quadratic equation is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. And here you know this a, b and c are what we call they are integers, right? They are integers, and one thing is very important. The coefficient of x square, that means a, should never be equal to 0. It should not be equal to 0. Okay, these are the general terms which we have already studied in our previous class. In the last class, I taught you about Sridharacharya equation. That means the quadratic formula. What was it? X is equal to minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac the whole divided by 2a. That equation is what we call the quadratic formula, right? That's called the quadratic formula. And in this quadratic formula, you can see a particular term which is kept inside the root, right? b square minus 4ac. Actually, this term determines the nature of any given quadratic equation. How this term determines the nature of the quadratic equation? It's like this. If this b square minus 4ac is a positive number, that means if it is greater than 0, okay, if it is a positive answer, definitely you can find the square. You can find the square root, right? You can find the square root. Just imagine if this b square minus 4ac is equal to 0, what happens? Definitely root of 0 is 0 itself, right? It becomes zeros. One more condition, if this b square minus 4ac is less than 0, that means if it is a negative number, can you find the root of a negative number? No, you will not get the root of a negative number. Means you will never get a real number as an answer. I use that word real number because there are imaginary numbers. We can find the root of any negative number. For example, minus 4. You can find the root of minus 4. In higher classes, we will study about that one. And those typical numbers are what we call imaginary numbers. So actually, in this class, we are dealing with real numbers. So we can't say that. We can say like this, that if b square minus 4ac is a negative number, definitely it will not have any real roots. So there are three conditions mainly. If the discriminant, that means this b square minus 4ac, that is called the discriminant, because it discriminates whether this equation is going to have two distinct roots, or whether it is going to have equal roots, or whether it is going to have no real roots. There are three conditions. What is the condition? Condition number 1. If b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, that means if it is a positive number, definitely the roots of equation will be real and they will be distinct. It means they will have different answers. One will be one answer and another one will be different answer. Both of them will be different. That's the word, that's the term which we are using, distinct. So we will say they are distinct real roots. And if this b square minus 4ac is equal to 0, condition number 2, if it is equal to 0, then they will have equal real roots. For example, if x is equal to 2 you got, then one more answer is there. Already you know that. That is also x is equal to 2 itself. That means both of them will be the same. So we will say they are having equal real roots. Third condition, if b square minus 4ac is less than 0 means if it is negative, if it's a negative, that's the way how you have to think. Even though we are writing less than 0, keep in your mind it is negative number, right? So we will write like this: if b square minus 4ac is less than 0, then they are having imaginary roots, or we will say there are no real roots. So this b square minus 4ac determines, or it discriminates, that how many roots are there, or whether they are roots or not, whether it's able to get a root or not, like this. So that typical term b square minus 4ac is what we call discriminant. It is denoted by the letter capital letter D. So capital D is equal to b square minus 4ac is called as the discriminant of the given equation. So if in a question, if it is given find the nature of the equation, you just have to find the nature. That means you have to find the discriminant. And but finding the discriminant, if it is equal to 0, you will say they are having equal roots. If it is a positive number, you will say there are distinct real roots. And if it is a negative number, we will say there are no real roots. So like this, you have to predict the nature of the given quadratic equation by using this discriminant. Is it clear? So now let us go ahead with doing some problems. Question number 1. Find the nature of the roots of the following quadratic equations. If they are real roots, then find the value. Means if there is if real root exists, you have to find the value. Question number 1. 2x square minus 3x plus 5 is equal to 0. First of all, you have to write a is equal to, then b is equal to, then c is equal to. What is a? It is a coefficient of x square. What is b? It is a coefficient of x. What is c? It is the constant. So here in this question, a is equal to 2, b is equal to minus 3, and c is equal to 5. Now let us find the discriminant. Discriminant capital D is equal to, use the formula, b square minus 4ac. That's equal to, what is b square here? Here the value of b is minus 3. So you will write minus 3 the whole square minus 4 into, what is a? It is 2. And what is c? It is 5. So by substituting the values, you will get a 9 minus 40. That is equal to, what is 9 minus 40? This minus 31, because smaller number minus bigger number, it will be a negative number. So minus 31. So now tell me, what about the b square minus 4ac? It is less than 0, right? It is a negative number, so it's less than 0. So what will you conclude about the nature of this solution of this given quadratic equation? You will say that they are not having any real roots. You can write like this, or you can write like this also. They are having imaginary roots. Let us solve one more question. 3x square minus 4 root 3x plus 4 is equal to 0. Here discriminant D is equal to b square minus 4ac, and that is equal to, what is b, what is a, and what is c. Just substitute here. While substituting, you will get it as minus 4 root 3 the whole square minus 4 into 3 into 4. That's equal to, here minus 4 root 3 the whole square. The square of 4 is 16. So 16 into the square of root 3 is 3 itself. So we will write 16 into 3 minus, while multiplying the next 3 terms, you will get it as 48. So next step, that is equal to 16 3s are also 48, right? So 48 minus 48, that's equal to 0. That means you got the discriminant as 0. What does it mean? If your discriminant is 0, that means that you will get real roots, and they are equal also. So we will write here the roots are real and equal. Means they are having equal real roots, like this. And just imagine if it was a positive number, then you will say that they are having real roots, and then you have to find the real root by using the quadratic formula also. Okay, hope you understood that much, right? So now let us go for a word problem, and let us discuss about this one. Here is an interesting question for you. Is this situation possible? If so, determine the present ages. Okay, so here a situation is given, and we are going to say whether this situation is possible or not, whether it will happen, whether such a situation arises or not. And if it exists, then what we have to do? We have to find the present ages. Let us read the question. Here goes the question before you. The sum of the ages of two friends is 20 years. So two friends, the sum of their ages is 20. 4 years ago, the product of their ages in years was 48. The sum of the ages of two children, it's 20. That's why I use the word children, because anyhow, if the sum of the ages are 20 maximum, both of them should have 10 and 10, that's all, right? Or 19 and 1, it can happen also like that. Anyhow, see, is it possible that sum of two ages of two children is 20. Yeah, if one is having 11 years, what will about the next one? He will be having 9 years. If one is having 12 years, other one's age will be 8 years, right? But it is not mentioned here. It's not mentioned. When it is not mentioned, what we will take? Let the age of one friend be X. Okay, let the age of one friend be X. What about the other? Therefore, the age of other friend will be, how much it will be? It will be 20 minus X. Why? Because the total sum was 20. So if the first fellow is having X years, other fellow will be having 20 minus X, right? 20 minus X. So his age is 20 minus X. And now see the second line of the question. What is the second line of the question? 4 years ago. So tell me about these two guys. 4 years ago, what will be their years? Their age. Right now, one friend is having X years. So 4 years ago, his age will be X minus 4, right? It was 4 years ago. So X minus 4. What about the other person? Right now, his age is 20 minus X. So 4 years ago means 20 minus X minus 4. So 20 minus X minus 4 means 16 minus X, because 20 minus 4 is 16. So we can conclude it as 16 minus X. Okay. So in this condition, one thing is given. What is the condition? In this situation, one condition is also mentioned. What is the condition mentioned? Check out the second line of the question. The product of their ages was 48. The product of their ages, that means X minus 4 into 16 minus X is equal to 48. Now let us find this one. X minus 4 into 16 minus 48 means it is 16x minus x square minus plus 4x is equal to 48, right? By solving this one, what you will get? Finally, you will get a quadratic equation, and here goes the quadratic equation. It will be x square minus 20x plus 112 is equal to 0. So you got the quadratic equation in the standard form. Now, from this, first of all, let us find the discriminant, because our question is whether it is possible or not, right? That was the question. If it is possible or not, then if it is possible, then we will go for it. That means you have to check the nature of this equation. Let us check the nature. So let us check out the discriminant. Discriminant capital D is equal to b square minus 4ac. That's equal to, what about b square? 4ac. Substitute the values of a, b, c here. By substituting the value, you will get it as minus 20 square minus 4 into 1 into 112. That is equal to, what is the square of 20? It is 400. Anyhow, even though it is minus, the square of a negative number will be always positive number. We already know that one, right? So 400 minus 4 into 1 into 112. How much? It is 448. So 400 minus 448 means a smaller number minus bigger number. Definitely it will be a minus number, right? It will be a negative number. You will get the answer as minus 48. So now tell me. Anyhow, you got it as a negative number. So your discriminant is less than 0. What does it mean by discriminant less than 0? Tell me. It means that there are no real roots. That means this condition is not possible. Which condition is not possible? The given question. This typical condition means two friends, they are having the sum of the ages as 20, and 4 years ago, if the product of their ages is 48, it's not going to happen like that. That means this condition is not going to happen. So this is the way how to understand a question and how to deal with this one. So hope you understood today's class. So this is all about this chapter. So in this chapter, we studied about quadratic equations, the general form of quadratic equation, and how to solve the quadratic equation, right? That means by splitting the middle term, by completing the square, by using quadratic formula. These are the methods which we studied so as to solve a given quadratic equation. And the solution of a quadratic equation is always called as the root of the equation, right? And then we studied about the discriminant or the nature of the quadratic equation. What about the nature? So this is all about the chapter. I hope that you understood the chapter very much. Thanks for watching the video. So we will meet in the next class with a new chapter. Till then, take care and goodbye.